One Piece, chapter 1019, Heliceratops. I can't believe I got that in one go, honestly. Heliceratops. All right, last we left off, Yamato was facing off against his dad. Sanji's fighting Queen, and the Luffy's currently getting revived by the Heart Pirates in their cool submarine. We open up with the battle between Sanji and Queen. Queen is about to shoot a cool laser, and Sanji's like, "Damn, lasers again? I'm gonna take that for Franky." It's pretty cool. I like how Sanji does this often, where he thinks of like his crew during battle. He did this with Bon Clay with Alabasta, where he was like, I want my sniper's goggles back," when Mr. Two took his Usopp's goggles. I like he's very thoughtful of his crew.
You know what's interesting?
It's a nice detail.
Some people have pointed out that this is like a rare instance of Sanji and Franky kind of interacting, because they usually don't. Like, out of all the Straw Hats, like, they don't really interact all that much. So it's interesting that it's nice to see that, just because you aren't a part of the, like, you aren't always talking to each other, that the bond is still strong between the crewmates.
Meanwhile, Zoro is on the ground about to get injected with shave years off your life vaccine that will give him powers and take away a bit of his life, I guess, in the process, or fatigue him. As you know how this is shown in manga. So he's about to get the shot. I guess like Zoro's afraid of needles, it looks like, because like the goat doctor tries to inject him, and Zoro's like, "Are you sure?" I like to think that he's like afraid of needles. Meanwhile, Luffy is fully revived in the submarine in a nice little scene, as he usually comes to. Every time he gets knocked out for a prolonged period of time, he always wakes up demanding meat. The food kind.
Pause.
Get your heads out of the gutter. Steaks.
Wait, when was the last time this happened?
That he demanded that?
Yeah, like this like I know maybe I know it's a joke and all that, but this is the set, like I remember it being like this before, like his being like what is it? Oh wait, he did the same thing with Kaido when he got knocked out by Kaido. It's that fucking
he did it to Kaido.
Unconscious, like, but conscious state. You know what I mean?
Where he's just hungry.
And what did he ask for before?
It's always meat.
Well, wait, did he ask for meat when he got knocked out by Kaido?
It's always meat. It's never not meat. He wants food.
Whoa!
Hey, come on, man. Hey, come on, man.
Hey, yo.
Crazy. That nigga goes to sleep, and the first thing he thinks about unconsciously is
He's thinking pork chops.
That's wild.
He's thinking chicken wings. He wants that.
All right.
Get your mind out of the gutter, man.
Yo, why isn't Law's crew putting in work on Onigashima right now, huh? What's their problem? Why can't they fucking, get their hands dirty?
Yeah, they about to get them things for Luffy. That's what they're gonna have their hands busy doing.
Steaks and stuff, pork chops. Leave them alone. Anyway, moving back to the Skull Dome, Franky notices that all of the numbers and I guess whatever, not the numbers, but Kaido's henchmen, lower ring henchmen, are turning against them, and he immediately is like, "I will protect you with my life because you're no longer hurting me," which is very Straw Hat, I guess. So Sasaki, who he's fighting, turns into his half beast, half man form. At first, I was like, I don't know about this design, but then Oda immediately endears me to him when first of all, he has like a samurai sword that has like these buzz saws around him, and he's about to go in. But not only that, but the horns, the Triceratops stuff that's around his head. Also,
the ring.
Yeah, I don't know what that's called. Brian, could you actually look that up? What that part of the Triceratops it's called?
Neck part of Triceratops.
The neck
circular
part.
Neck part.
Yeah, the circular neck
collar.
Part.
Triceratops collar.
Triceratops.
Yeah, that
Triceratops neck.
It just shifts down onto his neck and just starts whirring around, propelling him into the air. And
it's called a parietal bone.
A parietal bone?
I think.
Well, his parietal bone starts spinning and propelling him into the air. And my favorite part is that Franky is like, "Is that how dinosaurs work?" And it's pretty great. The other Kaido henchman starts like warning Franky about the technique. And Sasaki's like, "You idiots, worry about yourselves first." And he attacks his own henchman first, which is a smart move, to be fair. But Franky takes offense to that and starts sword fighting him. He's really funny. He's like, "Damn, what kind of mobility is that? I wasn't expecting an air battle." And Sasaki says, "This is what a Triceratops does."
Confidently. And, you know, I've never seen a Triceratops in real life, so I guess I'll take his word for it.
I mean, you can't disprove him. How can you disprove him? Unless you're a paleontologist. And even then, I might not believe you because paleontologists don't know everything about him.
True.
For all we know, they could have done this. So Sasaki gets ready to like charge him again. Franky takes out the general shield, which is comically smaller than his forearm. And Sasaki like propels himself backward. And Franky's like, "Whoa, he did this shit by accident, huh?" And Sasaki tries to play it off like he did it on purpose. It's very Kaku-esque from CP9, where every stupid giraffe thing he did is like, "This was on purpose. This was my power." So yeah, the battle continues. He actually propels himself directly into Franky, setting off his like shoulder rockets. Franky lands a deluxe suplex on the guy. Pretty cool. And they continue to battle, sword fight. Franky is not very good at sword fighting, so he kind of loses in that regard. Sasaki cuts through his giant mech sword, and he just like runs away immediately, and gets ready his like general cannon. He actually manages to to hit Sasaki with it, sending him flying into the air. But it's gonna take more than that to take out a Toby Roppo, man. He just comes down with the Magnum Ceratops, lands directly onto Franky's mech. Actually kind of does some pretty substantial damage to the mech, but have no fear. Franky is ejected himself at some point outside of the mech, and he just shoots his fucking radical beam, impales Sasaki through the stomach. And I know this isn't the end of the battle yet, but I thought this was sick. I really love this battle.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the end, but man, was that a critical blow.
For real. And it was so smooth. I didn't see that coming. He just like, I forgot Franky could just eject him, so he's not this robot.
Wait, how long has it been since he's had a fight without the robot?
Dressrosa.
A minute.
Dressrosa, he fought against Senior Pink without.
Oh yeah, he did. But that feels like forever ago.
It was forever ago. It was forever.
I
think
okay.
that was what, like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, but in terms of the story, it's not really that long ago.
No, it's been like 3 weeks maybe.
Yeah, for real. Oh my god, we've been in Wano for so long. How long? 2 years?
About over 100 chapters. So.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we get our final few pages of the chapter with Kaido versus Yamato. They are talking as they battle. Kaido tries to convince Yamato to just rule over Wano as the shogun, and Yamato's like, Kaido reveals that he never intended Yamato to eat the devil fruit that he did. Yamato is like, "I was hungry. I didn't know what would happen." I guess Kaido didn't feed him for his early years. And he says, "I tried to kill you more times than I can count, but it made me stronger." And we get a reveal of Yamato's power as he proclaims that if he doesn't fight for the sake of this country, he can't call himself Odin. And I don't know what exactly this devil fruit is. It might be a mystical devil fruit. maybe something out of Japanese folklore, because this is very much, a love letter to like Japanese culture and all that stuff. But I'm not sure. If you guys know in the comments what mystical beast this is.
Some people have said this is an animal from like a Chinese folklore, actually.
That's interesting.
Like a type of dragon?
Yeah. Well, it's not a dragon. It's more like a deer-ish.
Yeah, it looks like a
kind
deer.
of creature. Honestly, this reminded me a lot of mink stuff. Like, I was looking at this, I'm like, is that a Sulong form?
Yeah, it does.
It did. That's what it did look like that at first.
Maybe
because of all the clouds.
Maybe it's Kaido's part mink.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I was like, if he's not human, then he's probably a mink. And that would explain why he speaks to humans in like a third person, you know what I mean?
I don't know, man. My first instinct, before I really took a good look at this form, my first instinct is like, oh my god, is he the nine-tailed fox?
Right.
That'd be
People really wanted her to be a tiger. I mean, him to be a tiger.
That's interesting.
Like a white tiger, but looks like that ain't happening.
Dude. It had to be something big. It had to be a mystical fruit. And I guess it's interesting, like I wonder what Kaido went through to get this fruit specifically. Maybe this was Rox's fruit.
Or maybe this was the fruit he was trying to create in Punk Hazard.
Maybe. Who knows?
Smile fruit?
Yeah, the ultimate smile fruit.
Shmah.
So, can I start with the impressions on this chapter?
Go for it, Brian.
Of course.
So, this chapter it was a good chapter. It wasn't the best chapter of the week for me, but it was really nice to have like a reminder of who Franky is. You know what I mean? Like, we forget Franky can scrap. He is up there with the fighters. Like, he's probably middle of the pack on the crew, or maybe even over the middle of the pack. So we can't sleep on Franky. This guy literally, he looked like he had the easiest time out of everybody taking down a Tobiropo. And I don't think Sasaki is somebody to sniff at either. Like, that guy, he's part of a crew of one of the emperors. So I feel like this was a really good chapter for Franky, just to show everybody like, oh, yep, Franky isn't just a joke character. He's not here just for laughs. So he can fight. He can hold his own, and he was shown to be that way when we first got him on the crew. So it's just nice to have that reminder.
Yeah,
of who Franky is.
Did you want to go first, Josh, or should I?
Go ahead.
This was my really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
I mean, it's funny. It wasn't at first. Like, I kind of had to think about it, but I read this chapter again. I was like, man, this chapter was fucking awesome. I love this chapter. I mean, I'll tell you what. I flip-flop a lot between my favorite Straw Hats, but the one that's constantly in the conversation is Franky. He's just like so fun to me. I feel like he's the most underrated Straw Hat, or underappreciated.
I would say underappreciated is the right word.
I feel like Oda always uses him to explore his like goofball side. I think Franky has the more unique fights on a tonal level. Like, I think about his fight with Senior Pink all the time, because out of nowhere, Oda just decided to tell this random story that's very sad in the middle of Franky.
About a hard-boiled man.
Yeah. I love that. That's one of my favorite fights in the entire series, and this is so fun as well. And I love that it's not just goofy, is that Franky's also like a fucking great combatant. He uses his mech, but it doesn't define him. It's not his like final form type shit where like, he's got other stuff up his sleeves. When he was outside of the mech and he was already pointing the radical beam, I was like, Franky!
And like he set that play up.
Yeah.
It wasn't complete desperation.
Yeah.
It
was a high IQ play.
Like he did it with confidence.
And I'm always happy to give Franky his flowers. I fucking love that guy. On another level, it was cool to see Yamato's Devil Fruit finally. I don't know what it is, but I'm glad we finally got to see it. But I don't know. That's all I got.
It really reminds me of mink stuff. Like, I would be shocked if it didn't have something to do with the minks.
Yeah.
He did specifically say that it was the power related to the devil. He brought up the Devil Fruit.
Yeah.
Which leads me to think that it's more so that it's like some type of Zoan, like a mythical one. the type of animal it could be beats me. I don't know enough about Japanese culture. I'm definitely going to check it out on the internet and see what I come across. I'm sure people have, their theories.
Yeah, but what are your thoughts, Josh, on the chapter as a whole?
I like that Franky showed out.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like that he made that play at the end. And I'm a lot more interested in Yamato now that I know that he has a double fruit. That always makes things more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just an overall really good chapter. Unfortunately, it's not number one.
I mean, it had stiff competition.
It's a close second.
Stiff competition, man. I mean, everything was pretty solid this week. So I don't blame you guys, but this was just fun. It was just such a fun chapter to me. Also, I love like the little callbacks to like when people have ridiculous powers, like overly like the giraffe fruit, and like they're almost embarrassed by it. It's always that they have to compensate to try to make it cooler. It always makes me laugh.